Download the BCSN Plus app today.
So how many wins do you guys think is sitting at this desk right now? I'll give you a hint. I have 0. And then all of them combined for probably over 500.
I'm right behind you.
We now welcome in Central Catholic boys basketball head coach Mike Floyd. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
You had nothing going on today?
No, just game postponed a little bit, so had a lot of free time.
Fantastic. Because the stretch that your team has had, you went through a gauntlet, and here you are riding a big win streak, but complacency. Your team could say, yeah, we're built to win it all. They could look long term. So how do you deal with that?
Well, yeah. So right now I am trying to get them to block out the outside noise. Especially,
we're hyping them up a lot. I must say,
especially coming from this desk, we got to stop listening to all the praise, because where was this praise earlier in the year? So like we always talk about, it's just us in that locker room. We're the ones going into practice every day. Or the guys are working hard and going through all the drills, the sprints, and all that stuff, and nothing else really matters. You can still be ticked about the negative stuff, but yeah, don't listen to the praise that you're getting now, because remember what got us to this point. There's still a ton of work to be done.
I got a question for both of you guys. So how do you guys feel the Catholic League has helped you guys? I know initially it was kind of tough, but you guys seem to be adjusting really well. What do you think of the league?
Yeah, from the guys' side, the Detroit teams might be a little down compared, last year was just generational talent. You're watching film, you see Trey McKinney, even the Savory kid that's went to Michigan State to be a tight end, and the Barnes kid, all at St. Mary's. And then they had Mateen Cleaves Jr., who's not a bad player. Yeah. And then a couple other guys, like then UDJ, they lost a ton of, Leroy starting for Toledo, and you kind of saw that coming. And you don't see maybe the top end caliber guys, but it's still a tough competitive league. And those first 2 years were just a gauntlet, and it's made us better, I think.
Following up on the shot clock situation, Coach Floyd, your team had experience playing with a shot clock. I'm curious to hear how that may have impacted your team's offense.
It really wasn't much of a bother for us,
really?
Just at the pace that we play. It didn't really change the game, kind of like what Coach said. It probably affected Pick Central a little bit more than us. I think we forced one shot clock violation, and then they ran it down to about 5 seconds a couple times. But I think that was credit to our guys, just how they guarded. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think it just makes the end of games a lot more exciting, because you have to try and go score. You can't just sit there and hold the ball in your hip, and you start fouling with 4 minutes left, and the game takes forever. If you're down 8 with 4 minutes left, now you got a chance, because teams have to try to go and score. But
Coach, can I ask you about a couple players? I want to talk about Lawson and Langford. They've been pleasant surprise. Obviously, you knew about them, but I talked about it. I didn't know much about those guys. I mean, can you talk about their impact this year?
Yeah, they had a really good year on our JV team last year.
Okay.
Lawson might have averaged about 20 for us. He was scoring big numbers for a JV team. And then Langford's always been able to shoot the ball. What he's done really well for us is he doesn't take bad shots. He kind of lets the game come to him. He uses his shot fake really well, a little hesitation, gets in the lane, and just makes the right play. He doesn't complain about not getting the ball, maybe when he's made one. He kind of knows where he fits in with our guys. And then Lawson, he plays so hard. He attacks the basket and get downhill. He's strong, just playing football.
Safety,
I think that's helped him a ton. But if you ever have a chance, shake his hand. His hands are huge.
Okay.
It's like bear claws. When he rebounds the ball, you're not getting it from him. He's strong, and then he can just rip the ball away from everybody. And he's a really tough defender and keep guys in front. I think we had him on. We've had him on some bigger guys. He guarded Hester for St. Francis, and he's 5'11".
If somebody told you at the beginning of the year that you'd be having this type of season, what would you say?
I don't know. I've heard, you hear a lot of negative things, obviously, going into the year, losing some of the pieces that we lost. You just try to block it out, and, we had a lot of unknowns and a lot of questions that you just didn't know the answers to. Obviously, we're 12 games in. I think some of the questions have been answered. right now in a good way.
I'm a believer.
I am.
We all are at this
I mean,
desk, but it could be a mentality thing. When you lose players, we don't have to name them, but when you lose players of the caliber that you lost, naturally there are going to be tempered expectations. But how did you see your team block out the noise and proceed to have the type of season it's having now?
Well, I didn't really want them to block that out because, like, I think a lot of people told them they weren't really good players, and honestly, like, they're kind of pissed off. Like, that would tick me off as a player. Like, I am not, like, that's basically saying I'm not a good player. And I think Manny Johnson, Caden Kennard, a Dre Wardrop, a Jordan Langford, a Jason Lawson, like, they kind of took that personally. And that's a good thing. They have a little chip on their shoulder. You know, and it's kind of given some guys to have some more freedom offensively and do some different things. You know, and we've gotten some guys to buy in some roles that have really helped us, and we share the ball really well. And yeah, I think we just got a team that's full of ticked-off players that have a chip on their shoulder.
Coach, and one of those guys that's really stepped up, you know, talk about Langford and Lawson, Caden Kennard, 10 points a game last year, 10, 11 points, and now he's up to 18 points a game. Talk about his development.
He's in the gym all the time. You know, I think he's one of the guys that kind of got forgotten about last week because Langford has a big game against St. Francis. Manny does what he did on Friday. You know, we're down in Columbus. Nobody really knows what happened down there. And then, obviously, Carruthers was really good on Tuesday. Caden's just been so steady and consistent for us. In the St. John's game, he had 19, 8, and 7. Like, that's really good.
Yes.
It just so happened Manny makes the shot and has the block, and he has 24, 8, and 8. You know, so it's like,
That's a good combo.
you know, having your two guards do that is really good. But, you know, Caden's earned and has deserved every opportunity he's gotten this year. I'm really proud of his work. You know, especially like after last year, he's probably a little frustrated knowing that he could probably give our team more. But he kind of had to sacrifice the most out of those guys that were like our scorers. You know, and he's reaping the benefits now, just having a little bit more freedom. And we're letting him, you know, he may take some shots that you're like, man, what are you doing? But he works on them every day. If you're going to work on those shots and I see him make them, we're good.
And Coach Floyd, you want to talk about big games, you guys versus Lima Senior. What an environment. We had somebody there. I mean, honestly, if we could have, we probably should have had it on Game Day Nation if it was on a Friday, but it wasn't. But still, for you guys to come out and perform the way you did, you controlled the game for 3 and 0.75 quarters. Although you guys took the loss, what can you take away from that that'll help you down the stretch?
Yeah, you know, we just kind of ran out of gas late there. They're so relentless, just attacking the glass and just attacking with pressure as well. Just kind of wore us down. I think we had 3 guys cramp up in the fourth quarter there, and I think we gave up like 18 offensive rebounds, and you can't do that against a really good Lima Senior team and expect to win the game. So I think it was really good film for us to show, you know, how we play against pressure, showing some improvements that we have to make rebounding the basketball, especially against really good, strong, physical, athletic teams, you know, and just how we're handling a lead. To be honest, like, we haven't been able to practice a ton, maybe on situations as much as we would have liked. And that kind of gave us, our coaching staff, an opportunity, like, hey, we got to get in. Like, we're up 6 or 8 with 4 minutes left. How are we running time off the clock while still maintaining our aggressiveness? You know, so that was good for us to see. And, you know, hopefully we can improve on that. But, you know, honestly, our game being postponed tonight has given us a chance to kind of work on ourselves here the next couple days, just because we've been game after game after game with our season starting so late.
Yeah, to that point, you guys have had an amazing stretch, but how physically taxing has it been for your team going through not only the number of games, but the quality of opponents that you guys have gone through?
Yeah, and just, you know, playing St. Francis and St. John's on the road.
That alone is tough.
Is tough in itself, and just the emotional toll I think it takes on young kids. You know, then add that with we're waking up at 7 in the morning, going down to Pick Central or going down to Columbus and playing Pick Central in a 12:30 Sunday game where there's no atmosphere, the gym's freezing. Our guys are kind of sleepwalking through it a little bit, and then you have to come back home and play a really good Perrysburg team. So, you know, our guys they're exhausted physically and mentally at this point. So I think the couple of snow days have been really good for us just to get guys rest. And then I don't like that we have to play 3 games in 4 days next week, all against good teams, but at least it gives us a chance to like work on ourselves and get ourselves like legs back under us and ready to go.
Real quick, I want to speak about composure because a game like last week against St. John's, for Manny to hit that shot, the first thing that you did, you're telling your team to back up. Meanwhile, I'm here in studio just screaming at the top of my lungs at that shot. And even the game against Northview, Ava's knocking down 3 after 3 in the fourth quarter. I'm just like, I'm here behind my camera. Oh my God, she has a burner on her. So how do you guys remain composed in the toughest and most stressful of moments, even when it goes into your favor?
You know, you try to put your kids in situations where they're going to be successful, and you've seen them in practice and do certain things. And I think, you know, I wouldn't say I was like expecting Manny to make the shot, but it didn't surprise me that he did. You know, and then you got to move on. Like we try to preach, like, all right, next possession. This possession's over. All right, that event happened. It's kind of like the old Urban Meyer E + R = O type deal. And like, what's our response? And so for me, it's like we still have to guard. There's 2 seconds left, or 2.5 seconds, or whatever it was. And I was more concerned about getting them out of the student section, getting them back in our huddle so we can talk about what we have to do defensively. You know, so it's great that he made the shot, and you're kind of excited on the inside, but I'm not, you know.
But it was a dope shot, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not turning it off, though, until it hits all 0.
What's that? Hey, what's that?
I'm telling you, once you mention it, our crew is on that. Our crew is on that. As soon as you mentioned it, the fro. Oh my God!
That's a nice look, man. Yeah, you got.
I knew I was gonna probably lose it at some point, so I had to embrace it while I had it.
And just a stunning game, right? And you heard him talk about it's the fabric of St. John's and Central Catholic. But when you're coaching a legacy program, how do you maintain the culture while trying to blaze your own path as a coach and as a team?
Well, I guess for me, I've been on both sides of it. You know, played in that rivalry as a player for St. John's, and honestly, I'm just trying to kind of take a lot of what Coach Heinschel instilled in me and apply it to my team now. And then I've had a huge number of other coaches that have influenced me as well. But yeah, it's always a big game. I like to say I had a lot of success as a player. Never lost to Central as a player.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more time. No.
How come I'll never see you like stomping like Ed used to all the time?
He messed up his heel. I'm not trying to do that.